With our strategic delivery partners or the vendors that we use to help us perform software development or system integration, we've had those partners for some time now. We're at a point where we are revisiting exactly how we work with them. Perfect timing for us to start incorporating CAST, AIP primarily, output into our service level agreements. So now the fact that AIP is based on CISQ, which is a standard, is really going to help us with that. So that's in the plan. That's something that within the next 6 months we should have in place. Most of these system integrators are using tools like CAST, if not CAST itself, we really we are focusing on making sure that they all use it. It will become the minimum that they'll have to deliver when they deliver code to us. They'll have to meet some certain thresholds that we'll design with the CAST AIP software. A metric in itself doesn't mean much. What I really care more about is what's behind, or what is the metric telling us. So the metric is kind of, you've got a sheet of music, a sheet of paper with music on it. What I want the lyrics. Okay, so I know that looking at our overall metrics doesn't look too good, but I want to be able to articulate as to why is it looking that way. What does it mean from a development perspective? And that's what I'm going to be looking at the teams to do now, is to look at these metrics, see what type of benchmark we can actually gather. Even if it's not exact and perfect, doesn't matter, but having a sense of the directions we should be taking from there. So that's really what I want us to do. Really understand what the metric is telling us at a high level. What are the 2 or 3 things we need to really focus on and work on? It doesn't have to be the exact 10 things, but the 2 or 3 top ones. That would be very important. And frankly, the same way with our teams that are working for strategic delivery partners. I'm not going to go after number 8 or number 9, number 10 of the issues, but I'm going to go after 1, 2, and 3. And really, frankly, focusing on the fact that it cannot repeat itself. So we'll do the first pass at it, and then after that, I want to make sure that they made progress on that area, and then we'll go to the next area. If you have a new version of a given asset, it doesn't go into production unless you improve in some way, shape, or form some aspects of your AIP scan results. So that's one thing. Then the second thing, what we'll do is we'll see exactly how people are trending and how fast do they go. I understand, and we have had a number of debates within the teams, that I cannot compare one to the other completely. I get that, but I want to make sure that they're progressing at a certain velocity, and that they can work on. It's about continuous improvement, and you can always learn to improve continuously and faster as you go along and as you learn about the process. So that's what we're going to be using. What we want to see is for a given asset is the improvement of the CAST results, release after release after release. The value that I see there is you can use many different tools, but the value I see in using CAST AIP is actually it's standardized. You can argue it, but it's much more difficult to hide from it, while you can do that with some of the tools. And at the end of the day, you can argue as much as you want, but if we all agree that this is as good as it can be, in average, you will be probably right. So let's not spend much time on arguing as to why it is this way, but let's all use it. And that will actually be enough to give us kind of trend across a given portfolio, for instance. I think once you get into a given application and you go into the more specifics around the code, then that's where the technical discussions happen, and that's when you can better understand why the numbers are the numbers and why they got there. And you may actually be okay with having degradation of results, just because there are some good reasons for it. But at least you have to go into the specifics, and you have to have the technical people around the table to really understand why and agree on that. But I think if you keep it at a high level, it's good enough to know that it's standardized. So it doesn't have, you can argue it, but since it's standardized, everybody's playing on the same level. The feedback that I got from the team was that when they run AIP, the tool gives them some guidance on how to fix the defects, some practices, which was very valuable for the different teams that were working with it. That's something that I find, so I didn't go into the details as to how it works and so forth, but I find that to be very useful. I think it actually goes even towards giving more power to the team. They can actually see the results for themselves, they can argue it, they can work on it. I think is giving them the tools that they need in their own hands, right? So I think it goes in that direction. And one of the things we wanted to do is provide them as many tools as we could, as early as possible in the process for them, so that we can really reach the goal that we have in terms of DevOps, agile, fast development, high velocity, high quality. We call that moving to the left. The sooner they run the scan, the sooner they run their tools, CAST and others, because we also have tools that are specialized in some some functions in other areas. The sooner they have the first result, the sooner they can actually see how they're progressing and how they're making their code much better. So I don't see that as being contradictory with our desire to provide more power to the teams, being more agile and so forth, by implementing an enterprise-wide solution. I think that it strengthens us by having the same set of tools that everybody can leverage. We can learn from each other in terms of how you can use it, and then you can use it locally the way you see fit. But at least if you need help, if you need to compare notes with others, you also have other folks to talk to, and you don't have something that you're the only one using it. Others are using it in the organization.